Hello, this is Miss Xiao. Here we are asked to sketch and draw the following squares and rectangles. Let's take a look at question 9a. A square ABCD of side 4. Let's start by drawing one side of the square. So I'm going to draw side AB. Using a ruler, I am going to measure 4 centimeters. I start from the 0 mark and I end at 4. That will be 4 centimeters. From there, I will mark out point A and point B. We know that a square has 4 equal sides. Each side has the same length as each other. So if AB is 4 centimeters, BC will also be 4 centimeters. Now, we also recognize that from one side of the square to the other, it is 90 degrees. Both sides meet at an angle of 90 degrees. So, at this point B, I am going to come up with an angle, draw an angle of 90 degrees. I got a protractor, and I'm going to look at the outer scale and mark out 90 degrees. Over here. Using a ruler, I am going to join this dot all the way down to point B. After doing so, I am going to measure 4 centimeters up from point B to mark out the second side of the square. So this is where 4 centimeters is. I mark it out and label. So I have A, B. The next letter I'm going to write down would be C. Okay, and following that would be side. The following side, where I will mark out point D. Now, C to D is 4 cm. We also know that A to D is 4 cm. Let's mark out point D based on 90 degrees from A all the way up. So I place my protractor at A, look at the inner scale, and I mark out 90 degrees. Remove the protractor, join the dot to point A. Following that, I'm going to use a ruler to measure 4 centimeters from A. Mark it out. This would be my point D. How can we complete the drawing of the square? We join point C to point D. As a check, you would measure that from C to D is also 4 centimeters. Let's take a look at the next question, where we are asked to draw a rectangle EFGH of length 6 cm and breadth 2 cm. Let's draw out line EF first, and we will take that as the length of 6 centimeters. So using a ruler, I'm going to draw line EF as I mark out 6 centimeters. This is 6 centimeters. I will start with E on one end and F on the other end. Mark out. Next, from F, I'm going to draw my breadth, which is 2 centimeters up. And I need to mark out 90 degrees from F. Place protractor at F, measure 90 degrees, mark it out, join the dot to point F, mark out 2 centimeters, that would be EF point G. This is 2 centimeters. Now point H, I can draw it by moving 2 cm up from point E. So from point E, I place my protractor and I mark out 90 degrees. Join the dot to point E. Mark out 2 centimeters using a ruler. And E, F, G, this last point would be H. Now let's join point G to point H. And it should measure 6 centimeters exactly. Lastly, let's draw rectangle WXYZ, length 5 cm, breadth 3 cm. So let me draw the length of WX first. Using a ruler, I'm going to mark out 5 centimeters. That would be WX. Point X, draw the breadth up 3 centimeters. I need to mark out 90 degrees first. So 90 degrees point is here. I join it to X. Mark out 3 centimeters using ruler. WX, this has to be point Y. So point Z would be 3 centimeters above W. Put protractor at W, mark out 90 degrees, join the dot back to W, and mark out 3 centimeters vertically above W. This would be point Z. Lastly, join point Y to point Z, and it should be 5 centimeters exactly. I hope this short sharing will teach you to be sure of how to do the construction.